Welcome to Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself, a podcast where we explore the complexities of love, loss, and self-discovery. Join Charlie Perry and Marvin Speller when life's unexpected twists and turns come our way. It's easy to lose ourselves in the process, but what if losing ourselves is exactly what we need to find our true selves? Join us as we dive into the depths of human experience, sharing stories, insights, and conversations that will challenge, inspire, and maybe even help you find your way again. Sometimes you have to lose yourself. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone. This is Marvin, better known as Coach M100. Charlie will be joining us a little bit later, but I'm going to kick it off today. And my brother will, like I said, will join us pretty soon. I'm excited about having him so we can have our spirited conversations that we normally have. But I want to just kick this off. And first off, we are in Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself. And with sometimes you have to lose yourself, sometimes you do in order to be the best version of you. So, wanted to come on today before Charlie joins us and really just kick this thing off. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, I want to just kick this off with a thought I've been thinking about lately. You know, we have been talking about things that affect you, whether it's your health, whether what you're going through and how to get through it. But we have been really just unpacking many things all the way back, even before I came out with my book last year, Unpacking Grief, Shattered to Onward, right here. I would totally invite everybody, get you a copy. It's not just a grief book, it's a guidebook. It's a guidebook to help you through the challenges that you may have in your life. And you know, one challenge that I want to share with you all and really unpack this is here's the thought. I had a conversation with Alessandra the past couple of days, and it was around our belief systems and how we can easily be controlled by our belief systems. Here's one for you: what you believe controls you. And sometimes we cannot escape that paradigm. Somewhere along the line, we picked up something and we believed it, and it became a part of who and what we are. So I would always say, now think about this for a second. What you believe controls you. What if you believe that someone told you that you're no good? What if you believe that? Wouldn't you say that controls you just a little bit? Wouldn't you say that that doesn't really serve me, that statement? But sometimes think about the things you do on a daily basis, right? I think about that all the time. Here's one for you. I have been working on something lately, and I've really been believing it's going to happen. Do I know it's going to happen? I don't know, but I will tell you this. I have become detached from it. Do you know why? I'm going to share this with you. I became detached from it because I was like, you know what? If I get fully attached to it and it doesn't come forward, I'm going to be devastated. And I'm like, you just can't be in that place. Sometimes you have to be detached from certain things that happen in your life because you can't have them control you. You know, this thing doesn't go through in life. I'm still going to be able to get up every day, put one leg in my pants and another leg in another pants and keep moving forward. So would I be disappointed? Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying about mindset. Your mindset is everything, and really what you believe controls you. And you know, I worked on this for years, and I got to tell you, And I talked about it in my book, Unpacking Grief, when I talked about rewiring your inner being. That's everything. Because, and so it took something devastating for me to realize that, because I spiraled off into la la land in many different ways. And I had to rewire myself because I knew that type of thinking didn't serve me, definitely didn't serve me presently. So some of the things I did, and I'll read this to you. From birth, we have been programmed to act, think, and speak the way society expects us to. Let me let you in on a little secret. You can reprogram yourself to reflect how you see yourself. Imagine that. You get to rewire yourself. Always with the intent of being the best version of yourself. Is it easy? No. Is it doable? Very, very doable. I had to start by talking myself back into a place of normalcy. So I went from a place of being devastated to talking myself back to normalcy. And I'm just reading straight from my book. This is tool number 2 in chapter 5, which, like I said, is so many nuggets of gold in this book. And so I had to really start from that place. A disruptive narrative kept creeping into my mind. You're no good. Imagine it. How many of us have had that happen to us, where these things will creep back into our mind? That voice is loud and it's also deadly. This is where I would talk about, there's a thing that kept showing up. I would call it the grief creep. This is these thoughts that just randomly pop in your head. They don't do any good for you. And so you can go and fight those. It really slides in quietly, undermining your confidence, stealing your peace, and planting doubt when you're already fragile. That's typically when these thoughts come in, when you're already fragile towards something. But awareness is power. And once I knew it was there, I had to take it back. I leaned into my inner child. I knew I had to rewire my emotional state. I created affirmations. This is a thing that we've talked about before. Affirmations are critical because they help to rewire your mind. Instead of this thought popping in your head, you're no good. Imagine if you said an affirmation all day long. No matter what, all is going to work out for me in my favor. Imagine if you said that over and over and over and over again, especially if you had something that popped in your head that wasn't serving you. And you know it doesn't serve you, but you're still listening. Sometimes you'll just sit there and just let it overtake you. This is where Alexandra and I was talking about what you believe in really controls you, because if you can constantly change your belief by many different ways, we talked about it before. You may have to go out in nature. You may have to relax. You may have to get to the alpha brain waves. And it's easy to do that. The alpha waves, you can just pop that on YouTube. Get on there and then say an affirmation that can make all the difference in the world for you. So I'm going to continue. So what helped me a lot was me tapping to my inner child. I had to rewire from an emotional state. And so these affirmations that I started saying were things that felt better. It feels a whole lot better when you say versus saying something that's very destructive to you. And so when you say these words, you say them with meaning. And really, affirmations aren't fluff. They're weapons. They affirm the state you want to be in, not the one you're drowning in, not the one that doesn't really make you feel good. You are affirming where you are and where you want to go. It's that simple. Affirm where you're at and makes all the difference. So I started doing that. But as I've said before, affirmation is just the beginning. This tool is about reprogramming yourself into your best version. Now, when you're doing these affirmations, you can change them up a little bit. You can you can make them more impact, make them fun. The thing about this, along with affirming where you are or where you want to go, you got to have some fun with it. This is a part of me tapping into my inner child. I was like, you know what? I need to enjoy. I need to have fun. I need to enjoy everything I'm doing. So it's the attitude. And you think about it. Have you ever heard about the emotional ladder? So when you think about fear, fear is below sadness. The highest on the emotional ladder is love. And then things start to fill in the emotional ladder up and down. Your emotional ladder determines a whole lot for you. There's also other powerful ways to rewire your mind. Here's the thing, I would say: mirror self-talk. So if you can go into the mirror and talk to yourself, self-talk, something positive, you could just do this too. You can get in front of the mirror, and this is very, very powerful. Go in front of the mirror and say, I love you. Start with like 5 minutes and go from there. Even if you could just do 1 minute, that's going to be very hard to do because you're working to rewire yourself. You can high five yourself in the mirror. When you walk by the mirror, instead of looking at yourself and say, you know what, I suck, you can high five yourself. Practice gratitude. Here's one for you. Take a sheet of paper or take a journal. Write down 10 things you're grateful for. You can start with 10. I'm sure you can find more. It could be something simple as I woke up this morning. I have a bed. I have a place to eat. And believe me, sometimes the things you think you have that are so bad, some people have it worse, far worse than you. So practice gratitude. That's probably key. Because you can always look at something one way or another. But practicing gratitude is extremely important. I try to do that often. Am I great at it? I'm okay. But I will tell you, as I was doing this, I did everything I'm telling you about. Chapter 6 in my book, Unpacking Grief, Shattered to Onward. Gratitude really shifts your emotional frequency. You know, we talked about emotional ladder and your emotional frequency. What you give off is what you attract back into your field. And your field is very, very powerful. Also, think about this. Parent with grace. We all know what grace is, right? Grace is when you can just be a little bit easier on yourself. Try to have some grace for yourself and others as well. Let me give you this one exercise that can help you have grace on yourself and others. Think about somebody in your life that irritates you or bothers you, so to say, right? I want you to try this exercise for 7 days straight. We talked about this before. The state akin to sleep. 5 or 10 minutes before, when you first get into bed, where you're kind of like almost like in a dreamy state, right before you go to sleep, that is the greatest point where you can impact your subconscious. This is where a lot of things happen in your subconscious, because your subconscious time is not relevant. So what you do, that state akin to sleep, 5 to 10 minutes, And this, you're kind of in that dreamy state. You really go from a different vibrational frequency where you get to a point where you're, like I said, you're tapping into your subconscious. Try this. Think about that person. Think about how you want to see that person. And this is very, very powerful. So you can take, say, Joe, somebody that really irritates me at work, and I can do this thing for 7 nights straight. I can say to him, you know what? At that place, right before I fall asleep, 5 to 10 minutes before you fall asleep, I could talk to him and say he was somebody who was loud, kind of obnoxious. I can say he's a little bit more mellower. I can say he's always joyous, always has nice things to say. And I can feel that and picture that. And you can create this world beyond and to bring it into this present life now. This is what you can do, and it's very powerful. You can do that with just about anything, but I would tell you, do this for impactful means that are from a good nature, not from harming someone. But this is so powerful, I'm giving it to you. Please use it for good means. But try this with someone who maybe irritates you a little bit and you would like to see something different. Just try that. Try that for 7 nights. Create this world and live as if. And live as though this is happening now, and you're kind of you get to fade off into sleep, deep into your subconscious with that. 7 nights. Somebody who irritates you. It works. Let me go back on to rewiring your inner being. Spend time with close family and trusted friends. What I was sharing before is like when you go through this grief journey, sometimes when you come out the other side, there's some people who you're just not fitting in your life anymore. So by this time, you would hope you would have started to accumulate different people. But you're going to have the same family regardless, right? So spend time with them, and that should help. I want to go back, and I put this in the book. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Act as if. Visualize and mentally rehearse your future self. See it as it's now. You do this for a while, it's going to happen. There are many different versions of everything happening all at once. A lot of scientists have talked about this lately. This whole quantum field. And it's no longer this like hocus pocus, spooky stuff. This is reality. So, and you can live in that state, and it'll make all the difference for you. So I would say these things work. Rewire your inner being. Sometimes you can really, really make this a daily intention. Rewire your inner being, especially if you're not getting the things you need out of life. And I'll give you an example how you can do it with somebody who's in your life that's really irritating. You can do that for that person from a positive standpoint, where you get to influence them without first telling someone, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. You can influence from beyond. Let me give you this example. And I've modified this several times. No matter what, all will continue to unfold perfectly for me. Do I always believe that? But I have practiced that enough, and ultimately, in my being, I say this often, and I feel it. And when I'm not feeling my best, I always go back to my affirmations. These affirmations are everything. So let me tell you how often you should do affirmations. Before bed, repeat it three times. Upon waking, repeat it yourself. Midday, say it again. When you're feeling that spunk, you're feeling good. You feel like you got that inner thing going. That's when you say it. Not always when you have things that's troubling you. You say it before then or another time. Sure, some things I've talked about today you haven't heard, or you may have heard them if you read the book. But you know what? I will tell you, I wanted to come on and really talk about talk about these things because you matter, I matter, we all matter. And so we get to share things that can impact the masses. Um, so that was my thought on the mindset, and it really came from a conversation I had with Alessandra. What you believe controls you. It really does. Make no mistake. And you get to release those shackles and really move to a better place. And you know what? Sometimes it won't happen overnight, the changes you want to see. But with enough practice and repetition and belief, and most important is your attitude with everything. So you do these things and have the positive feeling going on that it really turbocharges this. But I will tell you, sometimes it's not easy to be in the best of attitudes, but sometimes you can look at it as like, you know what? How do you feel today? I feel okay and getting better by the minute. Is far better than saying I'm okay. And I remember for many, many months that's what I said. I'm okay. Really what I wanted to say was, you know what? Feeling pretty awful. But I started reaching for that better feeling place, which is everything. And I got to tell you, every guru or so called guru on the planet will tell you, you've got to feel for a better place. It is so critical. Even if you don't get the best news ever. And at times, we all don't get the best news. But you get the control from there. You get to control what your outlook going to be, what's it going to look like, what's it going to feel like, how you're going to do it. Because really, it's very hard to exist from a space of feeling bad in progress. It's not going to happen. I promise you that. So I would say, start with your attitude. Feel good. There's so many things you can do to feel good, whether it's the affirmations, whether it's going to be exercise, talking to someone that gives you an uplifting experience, coming on here and talking to us. All these things can make all the difference. It could be going out getting your favorite drink or a treat, and it's imperative that you treat yourself. You are the most important person. In order for things to help you or help yourself, you have got to do better by yourself. And you know, I'm not coming on here to preach. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm telling you the things I did or do to get to a better place. And this is why I've really put a lot into chapter 5 in my book. You know, because you can turn what you're feeling to go on to just be in a better place. And a lot, like I said, you want a different life, your life will come from that. How you feel. You know how they say sometimes you have to fake it till you make it? Aren't you doing that anyway? So, what's wrong with grabbing and reaching for the best feeling place? Because wherever you're at temporarily it's slowing you down. But you get to a place that you feel better and you multiply that, your life starts to really change. And listen, I shared this in my book. I've shared this on here many times. If you did everything in these tools in this book, this would totally change your life. We talked about it before. Tapping into your inner child. Really one of the most powerful practices. The inner child is what helps you be safe. We talked about today rewiring your inner being. Just so important. I guess if there was one thing I would say from rewiring your inner being, just start from a place of just feeling better. It may sound like it's hard to do, I've had the crappiest week and all that, but you can still choose the emotion that really is going to help you out the most. Feel better. I talk about tool 3, physical self-care, which is very important. Because sometimes this is very much linked to your emotional well-being, physical self-care. Do you have a doctor? Do you get an annual physical? What are your vitals looking like? How do you feel? Can you walk a flight of stairs? Can you go out here and walk a mile? Can you do, let's make this real conservative. Can you do like 25 push-ups? What about 10 pull-ups? And just because you're getting older, don't buy into the hype, well, I'm getting old. Because let me tell you, there are 70, 80-year-old people who are going out here and running marathons. So if they're doing it, why can't you? But yeah, why can't you be in the best health of your life? There are certain things that happen we just can't. But what if you started out with that intention? Emotional self-care. Talked about that. The emotional self-care. I said before, one size doesn't fit all. The emotional. Be in touch with yourself. Your emotional self-care can be anything. And some people may need to seek therapy or coaching. Some people may need to hire a coach, really to help with habit change. Join a grief support group. I did it, and I benefited greatly from it. Spend time with those who love or welcome your presence. That, at some point, had to be determined. Talk to someone who walked this road. There are many people who have gone through what you went through. But sometimes we are challenged with being vulnerable. I was that person. And you know what kind of kicked me off with that? I was like, you know what? I'm going to write this book. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm going to put myself out there. Not because I wanted sympathy, but I wanted to show people you can walk this road to be a better version of yourself. And this is how I did it. And especially when I go into my second book, that's really going to be impactful to helping people out. I would say, the actions with that: make a call, schedule a one-on-one meeting, attend a group. Don't do this alone. Don't take your challenges on by itself. Talk to people. Put yourself out there. You never know. Another tool I talked about was spiritual grounding, which I think is very important. Legacy and community rituals. Get involved in your community. Live in a memory. Healing and grief circles. And there's many different healing modalities. One of the ones we talked about before was EFT, which is tapping, emotional freedom techniques, where you tap certain parts of your body and can bring your stress level down big time. Somatic experiencing helps your body connect to the natural ability to regulate, especially after trauma and deep loss. Forest bathing, going out into the forest and just letting your senses go. Breathwork journals. So, breathwork uses specific breathing techniques to unlock altered states of awareness, be those as states, grief, trauma, and unburied memories can surface and release. So, you really do this to have certain breathing techniques just to bring up some of the things that had plagued you and what to do with it. Now, with these breathing techniques, I would say I wouldn't necessarily do those alone. I would do it with someone who's a practitioner. Now, I threw out something that's some people look a certain way at this, but some people have done psychedelic assisted therapy, and that has made a difference. You talking about really taking a journey into yourself. Some people have done that, whether it's through drinks or whether it's doing like mushrooms or other things. I wouldn't recommend any type of heavy drugs for that, but there are many ways to do that. And so you have to do what's best for you. Always, you have to do what's best for you. You got to do. Um, you have to experiment with, but it all starts with the question every single day: how do you feel? And you can ask that question. Ask that question: how do you feel? And start from there. If it's okay, then you get to do something about it. If you're feeling encouraged, that's a good emotional on an emotional scale. That's really high. Eager, ready to go. All these things matter. So I would say always start with how do you feel? What are you feeling? And remember, you are this person that is going to make all the difference. You're the one who gets to determine how you do things. And how you do things is going to make all the difference. So I'm going to share a couple more things. Trying to pull up the emotional scale. 1 second. And we talked about the emotional scale because you are a vibrational transmitter. So 1 second. Here's something I've used before. And I've always loved this because we talk about your emotional scale, being aware of that. And joy and happiness is a higher frequency. Let me share this with you. It's called the rampage of appreciation. When to use this process when you want to parlay a good mood into an even better one. So you want to start with feeling okay to feel much better. When you want to enhance your relationship with someone or something, you want to deliberately maintain your current good feeling set point. So imagine you were at a set point where you were feeling good and you want just to feel a little bit better, right? So I've used this often. It's when you really want to take your thoughts from here to there. So what you do is you, from an observation standpoint, you take from where you're at and embellish it. So here's an example. So say you were standing in line at the post office, right? You may think, "Oh, it's a very nice building. Isn't it great that it's so clean? I like how friendly that postal worker was. I appreciate the way the mother was interacting with the child. This is a good feeling jacket. The day is really going well." So what you do is you take where you're at and embellish the good things. That is a rampage of appreciation. Like, um, sometimes I like to go to, let's throw out In and Out, right? You don't have that on the East Coast. We have it here in California. So I can go there and I'm feeling okay, right? So I can go and get in line and I can say, you know what? That was really, and so I can take where I'm at and whatever my experience was and embellish it, right? I could talk about, hey, the person who took my order was really nice. This is a very clean In and Out. My food is great. The line wasn't long. You can start to embellish what it is. And it really just helps you to a good feeling state and it rises your emotional frequency, as we talked about, which is so great for you. So you really start to take something and there's more you can talk about. You can get this appreciation and really rampage it. That's for anything. You can be like, you know what? You can do this for anything. You can do this like I think about, I'm gonna use this for example. Last weekend I went on a camping trip. I could just say, I could have just say, this is a camping trip. No, it was a very scenic drive in there. Even though it was warm, it was a clear sky day. Yeah, there was some traffic, but you know what? We got there safe and everybody was happy. We got there and we had some amazing burgers that night. So you could take anything that you are going through or anything you see and you observe and rampage that appreciation. That is something that's really good to do. It also changes your outlet and rises your frequency. So I would say that's something I love to do. My rampage of appreciation. You can even do something simple as that. Say you got a new car. I love my car. It does great on gas mileage. Um, Everything is running well. You could really start to talk about your day. I'm making good time to my place. It's usually a lot of traffic, but today I'm doing so well. You can really rampage your appreciation for anything, and your emotional scale is just going to climb and climb and climb and climb. So that's something I love to do. And so try it. Try it the next time you're doing something. It could be I'm watching TV. I love my TV is very clear. I love the couch I'm sitting on. I love the company I'm keeping. You can really, and as I said, the rampage is, it will enhance your set point. So, and like I said, you can put a happy face on anything. Let me give one more that I had. So let's talk about the emotional scale. I talked about this a long time ago. I'm going to talk about it again. Just for you today. So, scale of emotions, it would look something like this to you. If you were to take them out, throw it on the wall, it would look something like this. Down on the bottom, all the way down the bottom, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. You notice something I said there? Grief. That is definitely one of the lowest ones on the emotional scale. And you know what? I knew I was there. That's why I had to do something with it, because I knew what was happening wasn't beneficial to me. Insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. That's just above it. That's like number 21. Now think about these things, right? One right above that is jealousy. That's a horrible, horrible emotion for so many different reasons. Right above that is hatred and rage. You ever hear someone say to you, the hatred you may have for somebody, you keep projecting it out, all it's doing is poisoning you, not them. Revenge. Revenge is very bad too. When we talk about karma, revenge is one of these things where it will circle back on you. Anger. That's really tough for you as well. Notice anger is above jealousy and hatred and revenge. Discouragement. It's right above that. Right above that is blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelming. There's my partner.
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You got kind of an echo there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to close this out on the other end.
Okay, I'm gonna keep talking about the emotional scale.
All right.
All right. So we talked about overwhelming. Right above that is frustration, irritation, impatience. Right above that is pessimism. Right above that is boredom. Then it starts to tilt a little bit, right? Contentment, hopefulness. It's when it starts to change, right? Because you really start to attract a different vibrational frequency. And then you go into optimism. That's the anticipation of something good is going to happen, right? And then you got positive expectation, belief. This is where it really continues to change. And then enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. And then right above that is passion. I love people who are seriously passionate about what they do. And then you got joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. That's a high one. Those are the top ones. And like I said, we unpacked. What did we do the past several weeks? We unpacked love and the frequency around it. That's why I say the whole passion. So that remember that number one is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. Those are things on the emotional guidance scale. So think that was my 45 minutes of fame today, Mr. Perry.
Good, man. I was just challenging you, you know.
It's all
I
good.
was, the look, my camera's all a mess. Everything's just totally chaotic today.
That's okay. Things happen, man.
Yeah. But I was trying to what I was trying to do was listen to everything while I was out and about, and I couldn't connect to my Bluetooth in my car, so something was crazy. But anyway, I am here.
That's okay. Glad to see you, brother.
Pretty
I
sure,
think
without a doubt.
I think the thing I really talked about is your attitude.
Yeah.
Your attitude and just changing that makes all the difference in the world, man. It's like we all going to have something that's going to come your way, but you know what? Majority of the time, you get to say, "There's always tomorrow." And sometimes I'll give you this too. Sometimes you have an opportunity you really want. Don't be attached to it. And then you say to yourself, "You know what? That may be one door closing for another door to open." That's what I really believe, man. It's like I've had situations where I was like, "Man, this opportunity would be the best thing that happened to me." And guess what? It didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? I still had to keep going. Sure did.
Yeah. It today was a good day, you know, at the job, and truly had a great day. Learned some things, and as throughout the day, I try to be a pleasant one in the building. Right? Hi, how you doing? Good morning. Good afternoon. Uh, good evening.
Right.
How's your day? Stuff like that.
Right.
And not everybody's response. Not everyone responds.
Right.
And there's one of the youngest kids in the building. I said, "Hey, good morning." He said, "Good morning. Good mornings are free," and that stuck with me.
I like that, man.
Because they are free. You know, they
Yep.
don't cost you nothing, and
Don't cost you nothing, man. However you shape your attitude day by day, doesn't cost you anything.
mm-hmm.
So I 1,000% agree with you. And I think about that for myself sometimes. I catch myself slipping. It's like, you know what? Is there a way I can look at this different? Is there a way where I can possibly, you know how they say the statement, check and adjust, right?
Yeah.
Check and adjust. Sometimes you have to, and we talked about this early on about reframing. Sometimes it's beyond reframing because most of the time it's just about just changing your thought, catching yourself in the act of self-sabotage and doing something different. You know? So, you know, and it's like I spend so much time reading and studying and being the best version of really that's being a student of everything I touch. I think pretty soon I'm gonna start writing my new book. I just feel it. I just feel it, man.
It's a great idea, and you know, I purchased a couple of books from some of my friends, and this excuse me, past week And the craziest thing is, you never you know what, you look at someone, and when you end up reading something that they wrote, put their energy in, and you say, "Whoa, I didn't expect this," and it's I love when people, you may not think they're creative, but man, they come out with some stuff that really, really kind of puts you on a journey, a very good, bad, or whatever the book is about. It puts you on a journey, and for them, for authors, like you, that could get into their book and their thoughts and their feelings and deep in their heart to write things, and you say, "Wow, that was terrific. That was amazing." Um, and or I didn't think about it that way, and it's so it's so inspiring, so inspiring. So when you say that you're thinking about writing your next book, you don't realize that, you know, even though your book is inspiring you, but you're inspiring so many others, and that goes amongst a lot of friends of mine, and they put things out, and it's like, yeah, maybe I should get behind that keyboard again and start typing something else up. So congratulations, and keep up that good brainstorm, and let's make it come to what's it fruition, and
No, thank you, Charlie. I know why I wanted to write the first book,
mm-hmm,
because it was all about freeing myself,
true,
really from myself.
mm-hmm,
So that's what I did. And at the same time, all the things that I didn't mind having the world seeing me raw.
mm-hmm.
And that means being vulnerable, showing that I had fears, really just being lost, didn't know where I was going, and I had to unpack that while I was unpacking myself in order to get myself to a better place.
So you think it was perfect timing to write it when you did?
Absolutely, man. Not a minute sooner or a minute later,
Yeah.
because I spent many, many months doing that. And I wanted it just right. And, I wanted it where it's like, you know what? This is something that, and I know how much it's touched many people. And so I wanted that to happen.
Exactly.
But while I wanted to be out here helping heal others, really wanted to heal myself first, man. And it took, yeah, think about it, my book came out last year in August.
Mm-hmm.
It took, that's when I really started the healing process before then. But that whole journey from last August to now, oh my gosh, man. Oof, a lot has happened in between that space.
Do you agree that healing comes in parts?
It can,
Different. Yeah.
it can, absolutely. I mean,
And
especially if you, I mean, it depends on how you define what healing is.
mm-hmm.
By healing the whole being, you're going to always be healing. I think it's no, it's no destination. I think it's going to be, you're going to be things that help you along the way. That's going to make all the difference. Like I'm learning all the time,
True.
and I continue to allow myself to learn because that makes all the difference, man.
Mm.
You know, learning and learning from others. And a lot of times, the greatest learning is from others and allowing yourself to really sometimes just shut your mouth, pay attention, be fully present, be fully aware, and be open and you can learn from so many different things. But I think sometimes we don't put ourselves there because sometimes we may feel like we know it all, and
Mm,
we don't. Be a multitude of reasons, man. But
yeah,
that's a great question.
yeah. So we gonna you gonna give me some three cards, or what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Um,
Yep,
because I know you talked
I,
about.
I got my cards. You know, I always got my card. They stay near us.
Right.
So
And
I'm gonna pull from the other deck today, the one I
okay,
pulled last time. Okay, I'm just gonna randomly pull out three. Okay. Okay, let's do it. All right, we both get this, and so this is from the affirmation: I am not perfect, but I am perfect as I am. And you know that statement, I am, it's the most powerful one out there. What's one thing you would never change about yourself? And then I'll go.
mm, well, the one thing I won't change is just my courtesy of others. Um, that's something that I'm not going to change. I have gained so much from that, just by being courteous to others, and even if it's at the point where um, that I may not have. Well, I think you always make time. So if just being courteous to listen to people, to love people, to whatever, just being courteous in a well-rounded way when it comes to others, and kind of having maybe a better word is humanity, and
Right.
that's one thing that I try to do, and I won't change it.
That's great, man. That's great. Um, the one thing I wouldn't change on myself is my heart, man.
Mm, yeah,
I'm a bleeding heart, man. I mean, this is why I've done so much in the community because I care and I love people. And I think about my capacity to love. It's really unworldly. So my heart is my heart. I care about people. I care about things, and I empathize with people. I'm passionate about things. I would say my heart, brother.
yeah, and I'm glad you said that, and want you to understand is that there's others that believe that their heart gets in the way of things, and I try to tell people that no,
Never.
you just gotta let your heart go where it's gonna go, and whatever it creates, whatever it causes, just accept it and say, yeah. With, and that's why I have this saying that I like to put in some of my poems, some of my sayings. I said, with my heart, dot, 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 I try.
Yep. It's
And
true.
it's so important. So, yeah, that's,
You got it. You got it. You got it. I mean, you got to have your heart. I don't. That's okay if it's somebody's gonna receive it well. That's what I look at. It's like, you know what? The way my heart is may not be for you, but it'll be for someone else.
yeah, it's there to deliver it. And it's up to other people, other things to receive it, and I got a, I know you got a big heart, and guess what?
Thank you.
If a million people don't receive your heart, there's 20 million more ready to receive it, or will
Well,
receive.
I tell
It's
you, thank you for that, and I appreciate that, brother. I know one person beyond the shadow of a doubt who loves my heart, so no doubt. So the next one, I release all negative thoughts. And what negative thoughts are you ready to let go of, and how would your life improve as a result?
well, with me is whether it's negative, I may not release it right away,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually I mean, I might look at it and analyze it, and then maybe add a comment, and then I say, all right, you know what, this is too negative, and I release it. But most of the time, maybe I want to debate a negative issue,
Right.
and then I'll let it go. If at this point it's going nowhere, agree to disagree, one of those things. Um, so negative is not a problem, and I think it keeps balance in life. Period. To have positive and negative, but it's also it also um, is a necessity to release it. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Mine is a negative thought. Sometimes um, fear can paralyze me
Mm,
for no reason. And I know how to get through and past fear, but sometimes I will allow that to creep in until I boot it out.
yeah.
I know how to boot. I know how to do that, but sometimes it'll pop in a what if, what if, and it's really not a good place to be. Um, here's the last card. The affirmation: I love the skin I am. What do you love the most about yourself and why?
Mm. Um, One thing I love the most about myself is just being a family man. Like
Mm,
every moment of my day is associated with the family I have.
that's
Whether
great.
it's working for us to survive, working for us to to live, or even if it's pleasure. But most of my moments in life are always there's always a link to family.
I love.
Um,
I
yeah,
love.
so that's
I love
that's
that.
one.
I would say what I love about I'm reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you got somebody, you have somebody that, I mean, you can count on me.
Mm, good.
That's what I love the most about myself. Whether it's working, whether it's somebody showing up, somebody being present, someone lending a helping hand. I, I love that I'm reliable. And I really hate to say that about myself. I really do, but I will honor that.
Yeah, and I raise my hand to second that on your end, and
Thank you, my brother.
to bring some confirmation to that, and the yep, you maintain stability, you maintain some loyalty, responsibility, and also the reliability on your end is bar none. It's
Thank you, my brother.
yeah.
The last thing I'm going to say before we go, my mom turns 80 tomorrow.
Oh man,
Turns
awesome.
80 years old, man. So much love to my mother out there. And
Yeah, happy birthday.
that's a
Happy.
big deal in the family. That's the second oldest person that's ever survived in our family.
Mm,
My grandmother happened to be 80 as well.
that's remarkable. Um, just think of all the things that she's seen,
Hmm.
all the things she loved, and all the things that you know, just came her way. It's just
Oh God. But
80 years old.
yeah, and I think about it, kind of makes me a little emotional now.
Mm, yeah, you should be.
I think
Should be.
about a struggle she's having right now,
Mm,
and at some point, I'm sure I'll share it. But you know, and I'm glad Alessandra and I are going to go see her tomorrow to celebrate her
awesome,
birthday. So
awesome.
I'm grateful that Alessandra and I are going. I'm grateful that she's joining me. I'm really grateful for that. And so just wanted to throw that out there, man.
That's it. Blessings, in moment. Everything's a blessing in as far as
It is.
value. It's all valuable time. It was valuable time when she was 15 years old. It's valuable time when she's 80 years old. And
It is.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Um. So I truly, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I really appreciate you guys giving us the time and joining us, and and we're here. We promise to give you a podcast every week, and we're doing that.
Every week.
Yep. Marvin is took the reins today and gave you guys some very um, essential pieces of his brain, and poured it out there. And one thing Marvin says, if you don't believe him, look it up, check it out, Google it, do whatever. There's ways. Just don't absorb everything that someone's saying. If you don't believe them, check it out.
Don't believe anybody. Check it out.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Hmm.
Remember this: what you believe controls you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
And,
stole shamelessly from Alessandro. So
mm,
thank you for that tip.
you stole it, huh?
Yeah.
What happens when the police come after you? You're gonna plead the fifth?
I may have to.
Yeah. Just that's it. That's a good saying, good quote, man.
That
Give her,
is. Yeah.
give her 5 stars. 5 stars.
She gets 5 stars. She gets 10 stars, man. So yeah, but we'll start we'll give it the 5. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. The
you know, one of these days we're gonna get Michelle on here and we're gonna get Alessandra in here because I want to have a podcast about, I don't know, still my passion is like this love is thing, right?
hmm
Like what brings you to that point? What is it that keeps that going? What are some things that people can do? What are some actions you can do to enhance that? Because I hear this still to this day all the time about why relationships don't work. And I'm no expert, but you're an expert, man. 30 some years. I really think we can continue to impart that by having them both on the show. I don't know, just an idea, man. Sometimes these random thoughts come in my head. I don't know from where, but I think sometimes they make sense.
Yeah, they do. And I just life, love, and experience is something that should always be shared at any level. Regardless of the level of the relationship, the time of the relationship. I think that there's always an opportunity to share something that some others may need.
It's true.
Um, and I think that when it comes to relationships, that I think we all have relationships that are similar or different, but there's a common there's a common
Denominator.
com- denominator between all of that. And I
Yep.
just think that you know yeah, sharing is very, very
Sharing
important.
is caring, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
I appreciate you as always, brother, and we'll kick this thing off again next week.
All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone on Facebook, LinkedIn,
I
and
appreciate
YouTube.
you all. Much love to you all. And
Yeah. So next week, same bat time, same bat channel, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And join me and the coach as we do our thing every single week. We are willing to hear your story. So if you want to come on the podcast, because sometimes you have to lose yourself, just check us out. Send me a message. Send me, you
yeah, we
know,
love, we love to hear from anybody.
yeah, we'll talk with you. You may be the subject, you may be the person that offers the subject. But look, you want to come on, check us out. I know Eddie Rogers is out there, he talks that he wants to come on. There's so many different people, and
Yeah.
feel free to get on board and talk with Coach and I, and we would definitely like to share our experiences and enjoy yours. All right, Coach, you
All
be
right.
good.
Thank you, brother.
Make love until you see the sunlight, everyone. And,
I
and I
like
love
that.
you.
Until you see
Love
the
you.
sunlight, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Might take a nap in between, but hey, whatever.
That's
It
right,
is
brother.
what it is, man. You we'll see you this week. If you need me, give me a call, and
I will.
all right.
All right. Thanks,
All
brother.
right, and I'll call you tomorrow so you can wish mom a happy birthday for
Yeah,
me.
please do. That'd be great, man.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. Right. We're going to end with our famous outro at this point, and
Right.
we'll see
Okay.
you next week.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Welcome to Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself, a podcast where we explore the complexities of love, loss, and self-discovery. Join Charlie Perry and Marvin Speller when life's unexpected twists and turns come our way. It's easy to lose ourselves in the process, but what if losing ourselves is exactly what we need to find our true selves? Join us as we dive into the depths of human experience, sharing stories, insights, and conversations that will challenge, inspire, and maybe even help you find your way again. Sometimes you have to lose yourself. Let's get started.